Right, guys. So we understood the need behind implementing our own constructors. Now let's implement them, and then we will go ahead with the compilation of these two classes. Okay. Now we are going to implement our own constructor in our account class. So public. We want the constructor to be public because we want to ultimately access this in our another that main class where we are creating creating objects, right? So public account, and here we are going to define the construction process. Like for the account object to be created, what data we need data for account number, we need data for account number, right? So I'll say account, I can give any name to the parameter ANO, right? So account number. So basically we want to give an option of opening an account with by just specifying the account number. You don't need to mention the balance. Let's say bank allows you to open a zero balance account. Okay, zero balance account is possible, say. So you don't need to mention any data while creating an account object for balance. So there is only one parameter here, okay, and the value which would be sent and which would be saved here, we are going to store that in our ultimate this instance variable. So account number equal to ANO. Now let's understand how we are going to call it, right? So I'll just go to our main class here. Now here we do not have the default constructor. Now this is a call to a default constructor as we have discussed. Now default constructor is not available to our class now anymore because we have written our own constructor now. Compiler provides us with the default constructor only if we do not have any version of constructor of our own implemented. But now we have this version of the constructor implemented where we are asking for a data to be sent for account number, right? So now there is no option available anymore to create account object with the default values, right? Because the creation process is defined now for this, right? So we have to stick to that process. We cannot just void that process, right? So default constructor is no longer available to us now. Now what we need to do, we will send the account number. Now we cannot access this because the access is not granted to us. I am going to define these variables as with the default access specifier. We don't want to expose it because we had understood the impact of exposing them. So the user may set any value of his choice to account number and balance, and that too as many number of times as he would like to, and that we do not want. Basically account number should get the value only at the time of creation. So we want to implement the limitation on how many number of times the account number variable should get set to a value, okay, and that number is only once. And for balance, we only should be able to update this variable through deposit and withdrawal, right? So as many, this you can update as many number of times as you would like to, but only through two operations, deposit amount and withdraw, not out of these operations, right? So hence we are not going to expose. If we expose them, then we won't be able to limit the number of times the variable should set to, and also when they should get updated, right? So these two limitations we won't be able to implement if we expose these variables, hence we do not want, right? Okay, now here we will set this like this constructor. Now we are calling by sending one integer value, and this integer value will get stored in this ANO, and that what is the use of that we want to do, the object which we are creating. So at the time of creation, account number, balance, two instance variables would be created, and this one value will get set to that ANO, and this ANO we are using to set to that account number instance variable which is being created at the time of account creation, right? Now let's say bank has now decided to allow, now this is where like the account number we have to mention. So if we don't mention the balance, so like the balance would be 0.0, like the zero balance account you can create by calling this constructor. So ACT1 is an object of a customer who is willing to open zero balance account in the bank. Now let's say bank has now provided the facility now to to mention the initial amount at the time of creation. So like the customer can come, he can ask for the account number, as he wants his account number to be. So that number he will mention, and also he will mention the initial balance which he would like to put in the account, right, at the time of opening. So now bank has decided to provide this facility. So how can we implement this? So what we will do, we will create one more version of the constructor, because there was only one way the account can be opened. Now bank is introducing the second way. Okay, bank is introducing a second way. So to implement that, we are implementing one more version of the constructor, okay, where the account number would be mentioned as well as initial balance. So I'll say double initial bal, right, and this initial bal variable we will use to set the value to our balance variable. Correct, right? So what we have done, we have provided two ways of account opening, you can say, or object creation, you can say. How we have done this? We have defined two versions of the constructors. This will provide a way for a customer to open zero balance account, and here the customer wanting to open an account with some minimum balance, this is the way for them. So what is this? This is nothing but constructor overloading. Now what is constructor overloading? So same name, like you can see the name of the method, this is also a method, guys, like the constructor is also a method, right? It just doesn't have any return type, whereas for other methods we need to mention the return type. Even if we don't return anything, we need to mention void as a return type. But the definition of a method needs three things: return type, name, and parameter list. But in case of constructor, there is no return type. Okay, the name also, it should be same as that of class name. You cannot just choose any name for a constructor, the name should be same as that of class name. And parameter you can mention based on what data you need for the creation process, or account opening, in this case account opening process, right? So here we have this method with this definition. Now if you have a look at this version, the name is same here. What is difference? So difference lies in this section, that is parameter section. So here this version of the constructor is allowing to create an account object with by setting the user defined value in the account number and setting balance to 0, and this is allowing the account opening or object creation by setting user defined values in account number as well as the balance, right? So here the parameters are different. Here we have two parameters and here we have one parameter. So if you have multiple versions of constructor implemented based on the requirement you want to satisfy for a creation of object, right? So if you have defined multiple versions of the constructor where either the number of parameters they are accepting is different, or types of parameter, meaning if you have one more version of the constructor accepting one argument, here in these two versions number of parameters are different, but we can differ in terms of types as well. Like how? Let's see, I'll just mention it here. I'll define one more. Right, so where you can define, like let's say bank wants to add one more way, that you just define the initial balance. Okay, you just send the initial balance. Account number we will give you of our own choice. If you don't want the account number of your choice, that's fine. And if you like, if you want the bank to choose the account number for you, we are fine with that. So bank has given three choices to the end customers. Okay, one choice is to choose their own account where the balance would be 0. Another choice would be customer will only mention the initial balance, account number would be of choice of bank. And the third is, this is the second, and third choice or third option is to mention the account number as well as the initial balance, right? So here account number bank will give as 100, say, okay, and the initial balance would be like the balance would be set with this initial balance. Right, so this is how we have implemented constructor overloading. Now let's see here. Now these two constructors, if you see them closely, they both are having one parameter, the number of parameters one, but type is different, guys. You can see here it is accepting integer, having an integer type parameter. Here it is having double type parameter. And if you compare these two versions with this third one, you can see that number of parameters are different here, right? So in overloading of constructors, like the difference is either in the number of parameters or in types of parameters, and this is called constructor overloading. And constructor overloading is implemented to allow different options of object creation. Like here bank is providing an option to open an account to a customer with his with the choice of with his choice for account number where the balance would be 0. Here the account number would be of choice of bank, but the initial amount would be asked from the customer. And here the third choice which bank has given you is to mention both account number as you can mention as well as the initial balance. So how these three options of object creation is implemented? With the help of constructor overloading, right?